If you ask most people at the conference, they'll tell you it's access to investment and capital, but actually the biggest risk factor in the industry, and has been for over the last decade, is access and retention of talent. We were facing a skills shortage in the mining industry a decade ago, and that's getting worse and worse. And the industry has this inability to communicate with stakeholders outside of itself. So the ability to go into universities, talk to students who aren't studying geology and engineering, and sell the story of why mining is important and what we need to be doing. And the risk factor is lack of skills. It's also things like corporate governance, attracting the right people. So it's not just about bringing people into the industry. Are they intelligent? Are they ethical? Are they adding value to our industry? We're competing with technology. We're competing with oil and gas, renewable energy for the absolute best and brightest. And unfortunately, we don't sell ourselves well enough to the external environment in order to attract those people into the industry. So that's definitely the biggest risk factor that isn't talked about enough in the industry. Well, there's several different ways that they can do it, and what we need to be doing is, first and foremost, mining's a cyclical industry, so the ups and downs of what we do tend to be fairly predictable to an extent. But yet, during the good times, organizations keep overhiring people, and then during the downturn, doing mass layoffs and organizational change. And every time we do that, we just keep losing more and more people to other industries. So the first thing I would suggest is actually more fiscal responsibility when we do organizational design. Let's design companies in a streamlined way so that we don't have to shed people every 3 or 4 years. We can maintain a steady state. So really looking at organizational design, valuing our HR functions, and really listening to them as strategic partners, not annoyances. The second thing is communication. Again, as I said before, we don't tell our story to the wider industry, or to the wider world actually. Everything we do in life comes from mining. Every phone, every TV, every computer, but yet the lack of knowledge from the common person on the street as to what we do is not there. They're told we're an evil industry, we're dirty, there's slave labor, we're ruining the world. But we don't talk about the positive economic impacts we have in places like Africa. We don't talk about the use of metals in things like malaria tests, things like that. We don't talk about us in a positive way. The wider world only hears about us when we do something wrong. So then we're always on the back foot. So as an industry, we need to get together and say, how do we tell our story to young people so that they see this as an exciting, attractive industry, and not one that's immature, one that is dirty, one that is male-dominated and not innovative. I think the biggest risk is corporate governance issues. If you look at some of the big stories that are floating around at the minute, they're people related. They're not technical related, they're not finance related, they're people related. And mining is a unique industry. It's a weird industry because you have a lot of people who have failed over and over and over again, who have reputations of being unethical, of being maybe a bit dodgy. But yet these individuals continue to get roles in companies. They're continually giving money. They're sitting on boards of directors. And as an industry, we allow that. We allow mediocrity from our executives, and we don't, and people might not like to hear that, but it's true. So we really need to look at, again, how we promote and develop people that are ethical, who are strategic, and who know how to run companies in a fiscally sound way. Because corporate governance isn't going away. The increase from investors, the spotlight from investors on things like ESG, on diversity and talent, is only going to increase. And we need people on boards of directors who set the tone for companies and show that actually this is an industry that is ethical, that is transparent, and is modern. And that all comes down to people. That's not the technology we do. It's not AI, it's not investment, it's all people. And we need to be better at getting people out of our industry that continue to paint us in a bad light and reward and promote people who are the future.